Hello guys, I'm Kiri, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about Chevrolet Corvette C3. The history of Chevrolet Corvette is very interesting. It came first in 1953 and since that time is still on the market, something very similar to Mercedes SL. There are 8 different generations, but all of them very serious and legendary sports cars. Every generation is named with letter C, so the first one, C1, was introduced in 1953 and was in production till 1962. And then C2 was from 1962 to 1967, which was replaced by C3, the car in front of us. Was very popular and was in production for 14-15 years from 1968 to 1982. Then C3 was replaced by C4, well known from many American movies, so from 1984-1996, and then it came C5, 1997-2004, which was replaced by C6 from 2005 to 2013. In 2014 it came the 7th generation Chevrolet Corvette C7 and was in production till 2020. In the same year, 2020, was presented the last 8th generation Chevrolet Corvette C8. But C8 is different conception car than the first 7 generations. For the first time, after some 68 years front engine rear wheel drive car, we have C8 with mid-engine rear wheel drive. And to be honest, I don't know how good was that change for the real vet fans, but it's a fact and they need to accept that. But now, our video is going to be, how we mentioned earlier, about the 3rd generation Chevrolet Corvette C3. We said before, C4 was very popular model from the 1980s American movies, but the same thing is about C3, because was very long time in production, the longest time from all Corvettes, 1968 till 1982, the car was a movie star as well. And maybe this is the most famous and recognizable American muscle car, together with Ford Mustang maybe. If you ask some American guy which is the most famous American sports car, the answer always is going to be Chevrolet Corvette and Ford Mustang. From the first C1 car, Chevrolet Corvette was very innovative, lightweight and performance car. C3 wasn't exception. Was a bit old underneath, the chassis and the engine are from the C2 model, 1962 C model, but later was updated. The Chevrolet Corvette was always about the very famous V8 engine and the legendary shape. In the beginning, the V8 was 5.36 liters, but in 1969 the new engine was developed. The well-known V8 5.7 liter with 300 horsepower, which by the way is going to be long time in production. The very cool engine was the all-aluminum ZL1, the big block and producing 430 horsepower, in some cases even 560 horsepower, which was crazy for that time and more than any European car. For 1970 was option a small block V8, but high compression and producing 370 horsepower. But also the big block was enlarged to 7.44 liters and producing 390 horsepower. One of the most crazy model for that period was Chevrolet Corvette C3 ZR1, but only 53 were made. This was the top model for the early 1970s vet models. But then in 1973 the oil crisis on this great car, and the fuel prices went up and the people were start to think to buy this car or not. Also the invasion of sports cars from east, especially Datsun 240Z. But not only that, the new government regulations about the CO were very high and strict, so the car manufacturers were being forced to improve the CO from the exhaust pipes, and this affects on one more time on the power, and all the engines were detuned to meet the new emission regulations. But on But on the end, this wasn't only for Chevrolet Corvette C3, was for all powerful cars. And actually the catalytic converters came into the cars in 1975, and of course the new no-lead fuel. The power of all Chevrolet Corvette C3 went down drastically, and in some models were with only 165 horsepower. The base ZQ3 engine, so with just 165 horsepower. The optional L82 was 205 horsepower, and the most powerful 454 big block was discontinued. On that time, the engineers started to work on improving the engines, the power, so to make them more efficient. And actually they did the job, especially when on the end the fuel injected system were introduced. The power slowly started to go up and to bring again the glory of the most famous American car. Stingray was something which is going hand to hand with Chevrolet Corvette. Was first used for the second generation, but as well for the third Chevrolet Corvette C3. Even you can see in the car in front of us the designation Stingray. During the year, some changes being seen on the car, like new bumpers, new fenders, interior wise as well, but this was mostly because of the new American regulations. But some of them being made by General Motors. The T-top roof, the 1978 fastback rear glass and rear spoiler. These touches were very popular and cool, but in overall every C3 Corvette is iconic. To this moment, the C3 Corvette was available with automatic gearbox and manual gearbox, but 1981 was the last year the manual transmission to be available. So from this moment only automatic transmission for Chevrolet Corvette C3. Every C3 Corvette is very desirable, very cool and distinctive. We said earlier, it's one of the most popular Corvettes, and because it was in production for 15 years, almost 15 years, General Motors built more than 500,000 of them. And today they're not that expensive, but it's absolutely dream for many people. Not only the looks is amazing, but the performance as well. We're not going to mention the top versions like ZR1 but the base one with the base engine Chevrolet Corvette C3 accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour or 96 kilometers per hour for just 7.7 seconds, and this is in the mid-70s. Believe me, this was impossible for many European sports cars such as Porsche, Jaguar, Aston Martin, etc. etc. But on top of this was very reliable car with possibility to cross America from the west to east coast many times, and believe me, this is a lot of miles. Even up to today, the performance of the Corvette is still one of the top. Just for example, the newest C8 Corvette, the top version, accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour or 96 kilometers per hour just for 2.9 seconds, which is actually maybe quicker than any Lamborghini. A little bit strange, but it's fact. The C3 Corvette is a real work of art. It's very proportional, very European size. Actually, inside is small and very very sporty. The front long bonnet, small interior, and actually the seats are somewhere on the top of the rear wheels, and it has very short back. It's one of the most beautiful American cars with amazing design. The longest production run Corvette wasn't expensive like the European sports cars, but was chosen from many celebrities, actors, sports people, even astronauts. The panels are made from glass fiber, so it didn't rust. Maybe the chassis, if you want to buy the car, you're not gonna worry too much about the panels because they are made from glass fiber, but the chassis, you need to check the chassis because there where eventually the rust is gonna come. And was very high-tech car as well. with the T-top roof, electric windows, automatic turbo hydromatic gearbox, limited slip differential, power steering. For the top version ZR1 and ZR2, race sport suspension, and actually from all the Corvettes on that time, 1970s, just 10% being ordered with manual transmission. But choosing, so just have a look at the car from the back. This is a model before 1978, so it's with small glass, rear glass on the back, because later on it came the fastback glass, so it's like most like a massive Ford Mustang on the back. But Chevrolet Corvette is very desirable and very recognizable car by these 4 round lights on the back and the sign Corvette between them, with sport exhaust. Some of the Corvettes, they have exhaust from the sides, up front of the rear wheels, like the many muscle cars on that time, and Dodge Viper as well. But this, especially this example, has exhaust normal from the back side. So we have here 15-inch alloy wheel Goodyear, and these very distinctive tires, very cool for this time. So it's 225/70R15. They are massive tires, believe me. They are not big by size, but they look really very massive. And you can see here, interior is very cool, inside is really very nice, but it's not big actually inside. It's more like European sports car, so it's very small place inside for the driver and the passenger. This example is T-top roof, so the both sides of the roof, they coming out to enjoy more the sun. And you can see on the front wings Stingray. So for only Stingray was named Corvette for the C2 and C3. Just have a look, Stingray, and these 4 louvers on the front wings. This is really designation for sports car, you know. And this is big louvers actually. They are not very small, so because the engine is very big, V8, and it's powerful, so needs the hot air to get rid of this space. And just have a look, the design is amazing, absolutely beautiful. From any angle the car looks fantastic, but this example is really top. And the color actually is very cool. The front side, the Corvette looks really amazing with this long bonnet, absolutely fantastic. The pop-up lights, just have a look. You can see actually the lights through the front grills. Even you don't need to pop up the lights, you can switch on them, so they can light through the grill. And the emblem, of course, very famous Chevrolet Corvette emblem. So this front bonnet is really very cool. It's not only the bonnet, actually the front side of the car, but it's amazing. And to drive this car is really, the feeling is just fantastic. Again, here from that side, the front tires, they're very cool as well, Goodyear. I'm gonna say they switch very nice to this car. Again, Stingray, and the front wing with these 4 louvers is very cool. Side mirrors, of course. And here is something very cool from 1970s, some ventilation, which was very modern probably back on the day, because General Motors, they were very innovative, and especially Chevrolet Corvette was one of the top car of General Motors, so all the options were available, or most of the top options were available for this Chevrolet Corvette. Here we have rear bumpers as well, made from 2 parts, and a number plate is between the 2 parts of the bumpers, and it's square, of course, it's American. But the car is really cool, and the sound of Chevrolet Corvette is just fantastic. Here you can see this lip spoiler on the back, like most of European cars. We see many Ferraris to have this spoiler on the back, but really is amazing. Backside, I'm gonna say again, is fantastic. Absolutely cool from any angle. So guys, I hope you liked the video about this Chevrolet Corvette C3. If you like, please subscribe my channel, and see you next time guys. Bye.